I'm honored to be here to help celebrate 90 years of the Canadian Jewish Congress. Mazel tov. Kol hakalor. Since its foundation, CJC has always stood up for the Jewish community, and you've always stood up for all Canadians. At the first plenary in Montreal in March 1919, delegates and more than 2,000 spectators created the Jewish Immigrant Aid Society to help newcomers find their feet in Canada. And throughout the 1930s, CJC campaigned against discriminatory immigration restrictions that barred desperate families seeking escape from Europe. And I should evoke the presence of a man you all know and love, Irving Abella, who I think has changed Canadian understanding of that disgraceful decade when none was too many, and I think everybody in the room is grateful for the pathway. When the Second War came, the CJC recruited Jewish servicemen to fight in Europe, and recently at a Holocaust commemoration in Ottawa, which I think some of you attended, the most moving moment for me personally was when the Jewish veterans trooped the colors into the hall, and everybody fell silent, and everybody recognized true Canadian heroes. In the 1950s, the CJC rallied to defend Hungarian Jews seeking escape from communism. In the 1970s, the CJC fought to secure the freedom of Soviet Jewry. Your demand then was, let them live or let them leave. The CJC has served the Jewish people with distinction, but just as important, you've always served the country you love. The CJC's briefs and submissions helped to shape the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Minority rights, mobility rights, gender equality, these are all causes that the CJC has made its own. In the 1980s, the CJC had official standing at the Duchenne Commission on War Criminals. With Erwin Koppler as lead counsel, this organization led the struggle against impunity for war crimes in this country. And last week, for the first time ever, a Canadian court handed down a guilty verdict on a war crimes charge. Desiree Munyazena was found guilty of crimes committed during the Rwandan genocide in 1994. And I think it's important to remember that the Justice Minister of Canada, who initially brought those charges, was none other than Erwin Koppler. So CJC advocacy has defended your community, and it's changed our country for the better. And you've been a model and a mentor to other interreligious and multicultural groups.